In society today, we are being attacked constantly with inauthentic conversations. Fakeness, trying to look cool, trying to be somebody we're not. That is why the Damn Dude podcast is here to have the authentic conversations that need to be had in a way that will make you think and say, Damn Dude.
What up, everybody? What is good? Welcome to the Damn Dude podcast. This is season 3, episode 34.
Damn Dude.
This is a show where we have the conversations that need to be had in a way that'll make you think and say, damn, dude. This show exists to help educate, entertain, and make an impact on the different perspectives and contexts that we have in life, because I truly believe that the more access we have to different contexts and perspectives, the easier, smoother, and just flat out doper life is. Yeah, dig? I'm your host, California Cal, one of the cool Californians left in this state, I will say. And welcome to the show, you guys. Welcome. Welcome, howdy, and howdy, welcome. Tell you what. So, man, where do we go with this? Where do we start on this episode, as we call it? No, so it's like, I guess we're just gonna jump right into it, right? Fuck, man. The last few days have been tough as fuck, and a lot of learning. And what I wanted to talk about today was stepping out of character. Like, what does it take for somebody? Well, let me rephrase that. See, this is where this gets controversial. Okay, let me rephrase this. Can anybody get you to act out of character?
Damn, dude.
What does it take for somebody to get you to act out of character? For you to fall out of alignment with your highest self and your purpose? What does it take to get there? Can somebody else get you there? Which really is like you getting yourself there. But it's like, okay, well, a lot of times there's people who will activate or do certain things that trigger certain triggers in us, which will cause us to step out of character and, you know, just be lame about shit, I guess, to simply put it. And then it's like, is there anybody who's immune from stepping out of character during their process of learning? Is anybody immune from that? And it's like, how much do you lean into having understanding versus being like, oh, this person is that way, right? And it's like, and then you look at it for yourself. It's like, well, all right, well, shit. How much am I this way versus how much do I understand, or am I learning, or am I where am I? So I bring this up because it's like, for me, the other day, I stepped out of character in my conversation, with some loved ones, and it was like I was able to get to the point of stepping out of character to communicating in ways that I know aren't the best way to communicate. Now, how I got there was through, I felt, I don't know, it's like I felt like I wasn't being listened to in the conversation. I felt like I wasn't being heard all the way. And I'm realizing that for me, when people don't hear me all the way, or I interpret that, then it bugs me for some reason. And I think the reason for that is because I do my best to bring so much awareness to the words that I say in the midst of a conversation that, like, I can recall back what I said and didn't say, like, exactly to the word in a lot of cases. And it's like, well, shit, if I start losing myself and I start stepping out of alignment and align with who I know myself to be and how I communicate, why can I let anything get me that far, right? And it's like, all right, well, if I'm working so hard to say things in a way to where it's understood and felt and appreciated, and it's not being understood, felt, or appreciated, it's being taken a different kind of way, then what does that mean to me, right? And it's like, I realized that's what got me there, and I'm like, shit, okay. Everything I'm saying is being taken this complete different direction and being twisted into something that, like, well, not being twisted, but like being, for me, thinking that it's like, all right, well, this is being rerouted back to this other thing. And it's like, that's already been acknowledged inside of the birth of the first statement. So to me, it's like, I feel like I'm going in a loop. And when I'm going in loops, I feel like I'm going crazy. And I'm really like getting that for myself and really realizing how much of a trigger that is for when I personally feel like I'm going in loops with somebody in terms of, or not even somebody, but with a thought, an idea, a conversation, anything. It could be with myself or somebody else or whatever, right? Like to get stuck on any kind of loop, I realize that's what sends me. Like I just cannot stand it when a conversation or something is just stuck on a loop. Like I don't know, like I lose my cool, I lose my sensibility, like I lose rationality. I'm like, I cannot stand this to be in this loop. And it actually makes me crazy. And I'm like, okay, well, I should look at this. Like, and I realize it stems from the resistance I have to being stuck in thinking loops from the get-go. Because, like, my entire upbringing was stuck in thinking loops. And, like, when you're stuck in loops of thought and ideas that they just keep looping back around, like, fuck, dude, you know? Like, what do you do? It's so frustrating because all it is just shoop, right back to the beginning thing. Shoop, right back to the beginning thing. And it's like, well, fuck, if I'm trying to learn, I'm doing my best to learn and understand and do all these things, and it's not fucking working, then, like, what the fuck is going on, right? Like, hold on a second, you guys. Whoa. I gotta plug in my computer systems. And, whoa. Okay. All right. Okay, sorry. I realized that it wasn't worth taking a full break and all that, so hang tight. It's real life. No, but it's like having years and years and years of just thinking loops, and all my observations lead back to thinking loops. And if the definition of crazy is trying to do the exact same thing with no doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result. And that's like, when I do that, I feel fucking crazy. Or if I'm engaged in a conversation where I feel like that's happening, it's like I feel like I'm going insane. Because I feel like, well, fuck, like, why is what the words that I'm using not making sense or landing or being interpreted or something? And so I start thinking that, and I just start, like, my brain just goes down this whole, like, I'm so fucking frustrated when this happens, because I am usually not the type to, like, speak out unless it's really important or I really have something that I feel is meaningful to say. So, like, I realize that that's a trigger for me. It's like, because it is hard for me to speak, it's like I don't know, it's easy for me to get triggered when it comes to me thinking I'm being mindful with my words and stuff, and then it not landing. And then having what I interpret, the conversation just going in loops and loops and loops. And it's like, well, shit, every single time we have to keep recircling back to the original thing, and there's no understanding in that. So that's how I consider it or see or feel it, like a loop, right? So it's like, all right, well, being that I'm bringing awareness to this in myself and my part, it's like, well, shit, when I start feeling like, and I'm learning this and discovering this for myself right now as I'm expressing this, it's like, well, shit, if I start feeling like I'm going in loops, I have to break the loop and go do something different. And in this instant, like, I was feeling so passionate about what I was talking about that, like, I don't know, I guess it wasn't making sense, and it was becoming off wrong, and it was like my whole tone started setting off any points of understanding. So being that, it's like, okay, I acknowledge that, I take ownership for all of my part of it, and moving on to the next level of it for myself is like, all right, well, how do I learn from this? And in the midst of going through the process of learning, it's like, how can I not cause maximum upset when there's things that I'm just ignorant about or not in, or lack awareness in, or something like that, right? Like, how do I cause the least amount of chaos in the midst of me learning, right? It's kind of like when you teach a kid to drive, it's like, or you learn to drive when you're a kid or, teenager or whatever. Like, all right, how do I learn to drive and create the least amount of chaos while learning? Because it's like, yeah, we should all learn to drive if we have the opportunity and ability to, because it's fucking cool. And it's driving's to be appreciated. It's a very, very fucking cool luxury that we have in this lifetime, I should say. And it's like, all right, we're trying to get this kid to be a safe driver on the road and not a fucking, crashing into shit and whatever, or driving too fast or this or that, whatever, right? So it's like, while going through the process of learning and trying to level up and trying to tap into my highest self, I catch myself realizing that there's just certain things of my upbringing that cause me to think in certain ways. And I mean, obviously, right? But it's like I'm catching specific things and stuff. And then I catch and realize, like, when I think about class, they say you can't buy class. And I agree. So if you can't buy it, where do you get it? How do you obtain it? How do you have it? Right? It's like, I think class is like passed on and learned almost. Because it's like, I don't know. But then you look at it as like, well, what is class? I think it's, I don't know. I guess I haven't looked at the definition of it. But my own personal definition of class would be to operate amongst society with as little ignorance as possible. I think that's what class is. And I think, like, we get lost in, like, being bougie and showing off and stuff like that. But I think at the root of class, I think it's like your morals, your integrity. It's like, well, no, if I'm aware that the street is this dirty, then I'm going to wear these shoes. And these shoes don't belong on that rug because that rug costs this much money. And I'm going to, how it's like there's so many ways to define class. It could be an attitude. It could be a perception, a perspective. It could be a way you carry yourself. It could be a type of style. It can exist in style, I should say. It can exist in the way that we speak. It can exist in how much ego we have in what we do. Like, oh, he's a classy athlete. Like, what does that mean, right? Like, oh, he's not boasting, bragging, like he's grateful for his abilities and gifts and whatever. So I think also class it has to do with knowing how and when to not step out of character. Then I start looking at different cultures and how different cultures carry themselves with different levels of class. And I see why some don't give a fuck, and I see why some completely give a fuck, and it all makes sense to me, and I respect all of it. So, like, for me, my biggest influences I have would be Asian. Like, I mean, growing up in America, in the United States, growing up in hold on.
I know Mira Mesa.
There it is. Growing up in Mira Mesa, Mecca Town. What's good, Mecca Town? It's like I'm most familiar with Asian and Mexican culture. And then probably black, then white culture. And it's like I look at it and I look at how, like, just for example, even like Chinese to Mexicans, how they view class. It's like a different thing. Now you've got classy Mexicans and you got classy Asians and you've got non-classy Asians and you got non-classy Mexicans, right? It depends where you live, what your upbringing is, all of these things. But I'm just speaking kind of in a general culture sense, is that like there's a lot, like, okay, for example, like my Chinese grandpa, he had told me, you know, I feel like Chinese people have really figured out marriage because we've been one of the cultures to be doing it for the longest documented amounts of time. So we figured out our roles. We figured out where we stand. Each mother and father figured out their role and their position, and we play our position and we do our part. And we do our best to not stray from those roles, and we do that. And that's how we maintain this level of honor and prestige and, you know, like tightness, I guess, in a sense, like sharpness or something. And then if you look at general Mexican culture, it's like party, be loud. Like Chinese people are like quiet, reserved. Their hands are closed and together. Like Mexicans are like, hey, arms open and like loud, and it's like colorful and out there, right? Like it's just a different sort of vibe. And I absolutely love both of them. I love it all. And it's like you're not getting at a traditional Chinese function, you're not getting faded, you're not like completely going wild and shit. Like, yeah, you're dancing and having some drinks, whatever, but it's not the same as it's like a Mexican, a 2-year-old party for a Mexican kid is 1,000 times crazier than like what we're doing at Chinese weddings and shit. Like easy. So like, no, but I look at it and it's like, all right, well, what is the culture that you pass on, right? Like you can be wild and loud and this and that and still be classy, right? And it's just like, it's interesting because how culture views these things, because just by the nature of how these two different cultures, Mexicans versus Chinese, party, you're gonna there's like a level of like class that can be observed, if you want to call it that, in terms of just the outward celebration. Right, but it's like really we're all doing the same thing. We're coming together, enjoying meals, enjoying some music, enjoying our time together, all of that, right? It's just how we each as a culture and how our language exists kind of, and how we relate to each other kind of dictates how we party and stuff. So how we party and how we conduct ourselves and all of that equals the lessons that we've learned, how, you know, how much class we carry ourselves with. So it's interesting. It's like that everybody can be classy and have a level of class and tact and mindfulness and all that. And that's what makes me think, is like, well, where did that come from originally? Like, is it mindfulness? Is class the same thing as mindfulness, like in its purest form? I'm not talking about being bougie or showing off. I'm talking about class. You know what I'm saying? It's like, well, shit, how did you conduct yourself super classy through that crowd of people? What made you different? Well, shit, I walked elegant, I walked proper, I walked upright, I walked, you know, whatever, right? Like, I walked like with my chest up, my head up, my chin out, whatever, right? It's like, is it how much is learned? How much is generational? How much is cultivated? How much is natural? How much is nurtured? Right? Like, I think about that, and there's certain things I want my kid to be classy about. And there's just some things he just doesn't give a fuck about it. And I'm like, well, okay, so what does that mean, right? Like, because shit, it's like for my son Royal, he's fucking Mexican, Chinese, and Norwegian and American, and is an American, I should say, United States of American, to clarify, not to discount South America, because you guys are Americans too. You know, or Central Americans, or any other kind of Americans, North Americans, South Americans. See, that's fine. We're all Americans. Anyways, it's like I observe the culture he grows up with, and it's like, in terms of his Mexican culture, there's some things that like, it's like, well, why would I give a fuck about that in the midst of Chinese culture? And there's other things in Chinese culture where it's like in the midst of Mexican culture, like, well, why do you give a fuck about that? Like, for example, let's say shoes on or shoes off. I mean, I guess it depends. It's kind of weird. In Mexican houses, of all my homies growing up, it was 50-50 whether you could leave your shoes on or you had to take them off. But most of the time in most of my Mexican homies' houses, they had tile floor, and their mom or their abuela would, or abuelita, I should say, would be mopping the floors on the regular and hitting it with the Fabuloso and all of that shit, right? So it was like cool, right? But then in Chinese, it's like you take your shoes off immediately. Like there's no variable to it. It's like why? Like, dude, did you step inside off the doormat before you took your shoes off? Like, damn, that's hella disrespectful, right? But then it's like in a Mexican house, it's like, come on in. Like, well, we're not gonna stop and give a fuck about that. Like, we got food grilling and it's just different, right? Like Asians got the food covered and heating up and stuff. It's just, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's funny, but it's so cool to observe these things. So it's like sometimes my kid hella cares about taking his shoes off going in the house when we've been rocking on that Asian vibe for a while. And then it's like other times when he goes and he indulges in like Mexican or American culture and it's just like, you just fucking running in the house. You don't give a fuck. Like, it's like, all right, cool. You know, it's like, it's just interesting. So I see him kind of observe and take all these different stances on it. And I'm like, well, how much of this is like coming from me versus his mom versus his outside influences versus everybody else that's like around him on a regular basis and just everybody, right? It's like, it's all culture, it's all class, it's all part of it. So it's funny because, well, I kind of sounded Australian, sour. So it's interesting because it's like that leads to the next thing, which is reality. And in reality, there's a lot of people who are posturing to look rich and fancy and successful. And it's honestly really easy to look rich and fancy and successful. Like I'm thinking about it, like if I was trying to flex my own personal life, I could very easily like look show-offy and have it not be real. I mean, even though it's real because it's in my life and it's in front of me, it's not entirely real. There's like fabrication to it. So it's like I happen to use my mom's car on a regular basis and it happens to be a new BMW. And I can sit there and drive around and floss and pretend it's mine. And like I have enough access to it to where I could just pretend. Right? But it's like, and I could show it off and this and that. And like I can show off my motorcycle that's not paid for. And I can show off my dirt bikes. And it's like, even though it does, like one doesn't work, the other's got a flat tire or whatever, and the registration's out of date. Like I could show all that off in a way that would make me look, not make me look, but would make it look so cool, right? And then it's like where I'm living, it's like I could show off crazy views and crazy, you know, the pool, the rocks, the this, the that. But it's like, I didn't buy this place. You know what I mean? It's not my, you know, I could go and show off the lift on my truck and the wheels and all that, but I didn't fucking do that. You know what I mean? It all came with it. Like I can show off I got a fucking hot ass girlfriend. It's like, okay, great, you know. And it's like, but that's all these things I feel are more for me to appreciate rather than to posture and show off. And it's interesting because like everybody, well, not everybody, but a lot of people in society where we live show off in very like indirect ways, which is really interesting too. Like, I don't know, this always trips me out. I could never wrap my mind around or understand like why people buy brand new cars on a regular basis. Like, this is an old understanding. I get it now, but there's still a degree of me that doesn't get it. So it's like, let's say this day and age, let's say you make $50,000 a year and you buy a car that's worth $45,000, $55,000 a year. That's going to take you 5 to 8 years to pay off. And it's like, that's cool. You know, you're going to be going to your job and doing all this anyways. But like, if you're paying like, where am I going with this exactly? Okay. All right. Okay. Just based off of logic and numbers. If you were to own an old Toyota, an old Honda, an old diesel something, the right car, right? There's cars that have been proven will fucking drive for damn near forever with minimal input into them, right? Now, from a money position, now this isn't true for everybody, and I can already hear different objectives, and I'll acknowledge the other side to this too. But I'm saying just from a logical perspective, just based on logic only, I'm not talking any other factors, just logic only, is that it's cheaper for you to own a car that's older and is proven to be reliable and just replace certain things on it every few years. And if you are making that type of money to where you were able to afford $500+ a month for a car payment, to pay, you know, what? I don't know, $1,000 and stuff every year in just regular maintenance and preventative maintenance, like, that's way cheaper. And then your insurance is going to be cheaper. And the parts to replace anything is going to be cheaper. The maintenance is going to be cheaper. The registration is going to be cheaper. All these factors, right? Just logically, and realistically, that's how it adds up. Now, you've got other cases where you can get a new car and lease and this and that, and it makes sense and the numbers kind of even out. But then at the same time, when you go that route, you don't get a car that you can keep for fucking 30 years. Like, nobody is, okay, maybe not nobody, but most people who have a fucking Kia Rodeo from 2000 and fucking 5 or whatever year those came out, or Kia Rio, Kia Rio. Like, who's gonna have a fully intact Kia Rio that's been driving on the road for 30 years the same way like a 30-year-old Toyota truck now is? It's just not. The paint, the body, everything's gonna fucking fall apart on that thing, and it's just not a car you can keep long term like that. I mean, unless you're like repairing major shit. So it's like, yes, you can exchange that car in every year, every 2 years, whatever lease you have, right? And that's cool for that. But then you got people who are like, I don't understand where it's like you could buy a 1990 something or 2000 Asian vehicle that's reliable as fuck, or even a good American one, and then you buy a brand new car that's like whack as fuck. I do not understand why people do that. Like, okay, who is buying what? Okay, I can't. Poor little guy, he's not feeling too well. He's just like laying down. He's been laying all day. He's like, oh, I'm tired. I keep, oh, it's okay, you'll feel better. He's like, no, I feel good. I'm like, okay, cool, you feel good. He just refuses to accept. He's such a little warrior, man. I love it. But no, like, I think about it, I'm like, okay, just what? Huh? Okay. But then it's like you got people who will like spend, it's like, I don't understand the person who buys like a Ford Edge and wants to keep it for 20 years or something. It's like, dude, you're making all these new payments on like a crappy vehicle. Like, you could have saved all that money and just been driving something a little older that's cooler and more reliable. Like, I just don't understand. It's like how people just buy weird cars on purpose. Like, I don't know. There's certain things where you got deals or you like the way it drives or this or that. Like, I get that, but it's like there's some cars that it's just like it doesn't drive good. It's not reliable. It's ugly. It's not fun. It's uncomfortable. And you're paying the same amount of money as like the next guy for something cool. Like, that's the shit I don't understand. And it's always tripped me out. But, you know, it's like, it's funny just to look at the whole old car versus new car thing. But then at the same time, okay, you buy a new car, and that's kind of how a lot of cars are built now. It's like, you're only meant to own it for a few years, and then that's that. Like, you're not going to see these things anymore, very rarely anyway. And then you got a lot of people who like the security of a new car and all the new technology and features and functions, and that shit's cool, right? Like, when I hop in driving my mom's car, it's cool. It's like the fucking windshield wipers like wipe themselves when water touches it. Like the lights turn as you turn the steering wheel to like see down the road. Like the seats are heated and do all these weird tricks and all this crazy shit. And like there's all this automatic stuff and like reverse cameras and the mirrors tilt and the windows are automatic up and down and the sunroof like goes all the way back. And this, it's like, there's so many little things. You could click the button and make the car fast as fuck. You can click the thing and make it like comfortable mode or whatever. You can fucking put it on economy mode, and it's like the whole thing just changes and it's different. It's like, it's pretty fucking miraculous, to be honest. Now, as cool as that is, and it's like, it's funny because I was driving and like there was a what was it? I think it was like it was a Nissan 350Z. It was all built and stuff, and it's like those cars aren't that fast, but they're cool, fun cars, right? So like this stock Beamer, a Beamer X3, like a new one, will walk on this built 350Z in this scenario, and like that's cool, right? But there's just something different about when your car has so much personality put into it. So it's kind of where I personally go back and forth, where it's like, all right, all this cool new technology just does everything you want it to. It just fucking goes, this and that. Versus like you got something with like all this character because it's like it's been customized and this and that. And it's like, I don't know. I love that. I love going back and forth between that. And overall, at this point in my life, I do prefer the cars with more personality and stuff. But you know, just I guess going back to it is like, well, dude, the reality is like right now it is what it is. There's no need to posture or front or whatever. It's like, I guess ultimately why I'm getting at this is the reality of posturing and looking rich and shit is that it's like you have a higher chance of stepping out of character when you do that. Reason being is like, because it's like you have to pretend and defend and protect all these different scenarios of how people view you in your own mind, which aren't even real.
Damn, dude.
You know what I'm saying? It's like whatever we picture other people are going to think or whatever, it's usually the exact opposite of that in a lot of cases. So I'm just thinking about it. It's like, dude, like, I'm just trying to keep it real. I'm just trying to document cool shit. And it really hit me earlier. I was listening to Ed Milet talk, and now even Albert Preciado. They were talking about how shit can just fucking suck. And if shit really fucking sucks and you're highly aware and you're still trying and you're doing your best, then it's like that means you are on the path and the road less traveled. And that means you're blazing your own trail to some degree. And I so needed that reminder because just over the last couple days, it's been so fucking hard. I'm just, you know, feeling and experiencing so many different versions of failure in so many different ways. And I'm like, you know what? I'm aware. I got it. I'm going to accept everything. I'm going to own everything. I'm going to acknowledge everything and just keep it moving forwards and do my best to stay in line with my purpose and accomplish everything that I need to. Yeah, I mean, so you guys be sure to check out We Clean Planet because they are making the world a better place. Like I said, I'm not a technical sponsor or anything. I'm just like, yo, you guys, anything I can do to spread that message. I realize anything I can do to help, then, you know, let's do that. So go to Instagram at We Clean Planet, hashtag We Clean Planet, hashtag Clean Planet Day, cleanplanet.com. Go find them. It's the yellow hat with the planet design, orange logos, or sorry, not yellow, orange. I meant to say orange. So yeah, shout out to We Clean Planet. Shout out to Sebastian. And shout out to everybody who listens to the show. Thank you to my loved ones, and thank you to those specifically patient with me and understanding and dealing with me. I appreciate it. Yeah, man. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. This is season 3, episode 34. Technically, episode 246 of the Damn Dude motherfucking podcast. Yeah, dig. Nothing beats, nothing, and this one's a PS2, and it's gonna be me and you.
Damn, dude.
Damn, dude.
Oh, I got a throwback for old school listeners. Please be sure to tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to tell your best friends, cousins, pot smoking, bong ripping, get dang tell you what, fast car driving, loud pipe ripping, half pipe skating, hooligan vandals, tunnel spray painting, Michelin man about the Damn Dude motherfucking podcast. Because this can help educate, entertain, and make an impact on somebody's perspective and context in life that may alter and shift and help them discover the one thing that makes the difference in their life, not just a difference in their life. You dig? I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. I hope you have a beautiful motherfucking day. This is the Damn Dude Podcast. Love you guys. Please be sure to go donate to Clean Planet. And donate to the Damn Dude Podcast. It'd be greatly appreciated. Hit us on Cash App. PayPal is weird, but I can figure it out. Love you guys. Appreciate you guys. Have a beautiful day. Much love. Peace.
Damn, dude.
Damn, dude.